And there's the young goaltender for Czechoslovakia, Dominik Hasek, just 19 years of age. The best defensive pairing for Canada so far in the Canada Cup has been clearly the Robinson-Wilson pairing. And up front, Peter Stastny playing against his former teammates. And he'll be centering a line along with Messier and Anderson. We're set to go. Play underway, and from the face-off, Stastny tried to get loose. It was checked away from him. Lukács gets it over the line. They work in front of the net, and coming back to pick up the puck and start out from Team Canada territory is Anderson. Out at center ice, the rink-wide pass picked up on this side by Liba. He clears it back into the Team Canada zone. Into the corner, Messier. Messier trying to kick it free, does, and Stastny gets it back to the blue line. It's kept in. There's a shot. It's blocked with the defense, and out comes Canada. Stastny leading the rush. Clears it over the line now, and it's offside. Messier got that pass after he had hit the line, so the offside is called. Face off outside the blue line. The referee tonight is Yuri Karasika and Kevin Collins. Karandine from the Soviet Union.
I'm sure the Canadian players are concerned about having a Soviet referee. I know from my experience in international hockey, Canada does not want to take the type of penalties early in the game that might cost them. So I'm sure they're concerned. They want to play a little conservative to begin with.
Face-off outside the blue line. It is shot back in the Team Canada zone by Yzerman. Clears it into Czechoslovakian territory. Along the boards now. Czechoslovakia trying to get out. Salter gets it out to center ice. Ahead for Lala. Yitzi Lala. Down into the corner now. Bork's on top of him. Chases him in against the boards. Canada aggressive early here. Yzerman overskates it. Loses it. It's cleared to the side of the net. Helping his own cause there was goaltender Réjean Lemelin. And it's cleared down the ice. Down hustling after that one. They wave off the icing on the play. Picking it up is Padlet, deep in his own zone. He's got the puck at center ice now. Ubera over the line, drops it. The shot off the shoulder of Lemelin. Now trying to find that puck is Lala, and it was batted ahead. So Karandine calls it for that, and we'll have a face-off outside the blue line. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. No score here in the second minute of play. Minute 16 gone from the face-off. Back into the Team Canada zone once again. Back there is Huddy, clears it out through center ice. Bossy breaking down over the line, reaching for that puck, trying to get loose, and he was upended as he cut past defenseman Radishek Musil. In behind the net, Sutter. This is an all-Islander line out there now with Bossy and Sutter tried to jam it home right at the side of the net. And holding the post well there was Hasek to hold it out and get the whistle.
Team Canada has made 3 changes already. I think they realize they're going to be in a high-tempo game. They want to get everybody in the game. They don't want guys sitting on the bench, losing their legs, and making quick changes, and they're going to have to do that.
So Sutter remains out there, but Czechoslovakia now, as we look at Brent Sutter. Well, he's in his home province, Viking, Alberta, one of the many brothers in the National Hockey League. He's played well. He's played up to full expectations here, and here's a replay of that effort around the side of the net as Bossy went in. And Sutter will take the draw now. From the face-off, along the boards, Tonelli turning with it. Tonelli in front, Sutter scores! Tonelli set that one up.
All the Team Canada guys are off the bench. There was a play where Sutter got the face-off, back to the defenseman. Watch here, the Czechs do not line anybody up against the boards over where Tonelli is. Makes a perfect pass out. Sutter stuffs it in. A big goal for Canada. That's the type of break Canada needed early in the hockey game.
Well, they've got it. Let's see if they can capitalize on it to try and get that lead. And Canada has struck at 1:44. Sutter getting the goal from Tonelli. Now inside the zone. Czechoslovakia trying to get loose just near the line. Circling back is Lukács now, and he'll start out. At center ice, Liba over the line, the pass for Sabozil. He's against the board, clears it in front of the net. Lukács is there, and the play is whistled dead, and we'll have a face-off outside the blue line on the offside. Get another look at this one, Darrell.
Canada takes an advantage here. The Czech defenseman did not line up alongside Tonelli, allowing him to be free. Sutter drove drew the puck that way, and he had lots of room to make the pass out in front.
Now down over the line again, trying to hustle after that puck. Good defensive move made there by number 7, O'Beara. Clears it in front. There's Wilson with a shot. It's blocked to the defense, and it sets up a 2-on-1. Out at center ice is Leba. Leba along with Savozil. Leba to Savozil. He shot it wide, and the net comes off its moorings. Oh, and Savozil is second-guessing himself. Just shot it wide. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
A 2-on-1. Robinson first tries to play it. The pass does not come across. Canada a little lucky there. He opened net and shot it off the heel of his stick.
Larry hit the net there, which takes a bit of a blow to knock it off its moorings. They just missed on that one, tying the hockey game up. Savozil with a great opportunity. It's cleared out to center ice now, and this is Musil. Musil is clearing it ahead. It's right past Lala and into Team Canada territory. And here comes the big bird at center ice. He brings it down over the line. Cutting for the net is Middleton, and they try to get it to him. Middleton's there. They couldn't get it across as Hasek deflected it away. You can see that one taking form as Middleton came up on the right wing side and cut for the net and got in behind the defense. But they just couldn't get the puck to him as Hasek himself intercepted it.
Hasek made an alert play there by sticking his stick out. That's what the goalie tries to do to deflect the pass.
Well, they've got a new line out there now with Middleton back in the lineup. He suffered a sprained ankle. And now we've got Stosny out there. Stosny wins the draw, clears it back to the point. Bork is there. Bork along the boards. Stosny reaching for it as well. Out to center ice it comes now. Czechoslovakia with Hasek shooting it in. Good hard shot along the boards on the far side. Picked up by Messier. Gets it out to center ice. Ahead. Good check there by Bork. Right in against the boards, and Stosny comes away with it. Rink wide pass, and it went off the skate of Messier in deep. Czechoslovakia territory now. There's right to Stosny. Stosny out to Bork. Bork had trouble containing it. Reaches back, keeps it in. There's it in deep now. Out in front. There's a chance. Messier couldn't reach that pass. It's cleared to the blue line, not out. Hoisted right back in again by Kevin Lowe. Behind the net, Stosny takes a hit, trying to get the pathway, gets it again. Stosny in against the boards with Korbala. Along the boards on this side, it's Hasek in there. Hasek, also Horshova. Along the boards and out to center ice now, swinging back toward is Dudacek. Cleared right back in again. Hasek out of his net, leaves it for Horshova. Horshova right behind his nets. Looking for that man, moving into forecheck is Gartner. Out at center ice, Rosso. Rosso with that puck at the edge of the line. Rosso's shot right on the rebound. And it's shot wide. Defense covered up well. Huddy was in there. He's in against the boards now. Gartner is there as well. Gartner throwing it out to center ice now. Here's Bourne over the line with Gartner. The shot is over top of the net. Moving in. Bork. He threw the check in there. Rosso at center ice now. Catching up on the bay is Peter Klima. And it's brought right back out to center ice by Team Canada. At center ice, off a leg now. Back into his own zone, Kodlitz. At center ice, O'Beara, the defenseman, moving up. Klima deflects it in over the line, but he preceded the puck in and is called on the offside. Canada is leading 1-0 on a goal by Brent Sutter. And here's the way the standings are. The Soviets with a 3-0 record. The USA playing the Soviets a little later on in Edmonton, 2-0-1. Sweden, they beat Germany a little earlier here in the Olympic Saddle Dome, and Canada with that record of 1-1-1. So you see the crucial nature of this hockey game here at the Olympic Saddle Dome. Canada leading right now. Sinelli. Robinson deep in his zone. Ahead, couldn't get it out past Sutter. Kept inside the line. Wilson goes down. Sinelli kicks it out to center ice. Intercepting it is Leba. Back to the blue line. Kodlitz. Kodlitz dropping it off. Moving up with the puck. To the line. There's a shot. Lifting shot. Offside. Player was inside the blue line. That good shot of Vincent Lukács as we see Lamela. So, with the Canada leading 1-0, this is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Well, there's Glenn Sather, obviously very concerned about the way his team has played so far in the tournament. Well, I'll tell you, we rode over on the bus with Team Canada from the hotel here in Calgary, and it was a quiet crew. They knew they were in a very, very important game. No question, they're up for it. Now here's Musil. Along the boards, past Robinson. Sutter's back in his own zone to Wilson. Wilson cutting behind his own net now. Wilson ahead for Bossy. Bossy, Wilson coming through center ice. The lead pass for Tonelli. He couldn't reach it. Now they hustle in after it behind the net there, and back to get it is Wilson, and he is ridden in against the boards by Musil and goes down. I think he went head first in there. He erased the icing on the play with the hustle, but he paid the price.
He sure did, and Dougie Wilson does not wear a helmet. He got hit earlier last season and fractured his skull. Here he goes into the boards. He caught it right on the edge. He might be seriously hurt.
Musil is one of the very tough Czechoslovakian players. He is very highly rated, just 19 years of age, and he plays the game hard.
Well, he's a big man, that's for sure, and that was unfortunate when you're going for an icing like that something like that happens, and let's hope Dougie will be back.
Team Czechoslovakia.
Well, Wilson a little groggy on this one, I think. Slow getting up. Wilson and Robinson have been the best defensive pairing for Canada, the most consistent throughout. Get a chance to look at this one from a different angle. And you can see this. He is just groggy, that's all. And well, he'll sit on the bench a little bit, shake the cobwebs and whatever else is in his head right now.
He might be favoring his leg a little there. You see him, two of the fellas helping him. He certainly can't afford to lose Dougie Wilson, that's for sure.
Well, it appears to be the knee. He is being very gingerly being examined at the bench. Sutter's out there with Tonelli, Bossy. For Czechoslovakia, the line of Libas, Vozil, and Lukats. And a penalty has been issued on the play, which is, I think, a little more than was deserved on the play, Darrell. Yes, a tough collision. Here's Robinson now. Robinson's shot is blocked at the blue line now. Robinson. Canada's on the power play. Robinson along with Bork over for Tonelli. Tonelli's teeing it up. Now gets it back to Robinson. Robinson to Bork. Bork's a good playmaker. Tonelli shot the puck, score! Bossy got the goal.
That's what Canada has to be doing. They have to be shooting the puck. You noticed in other games they played earlier in the series, they were getting those type of chances, but they weren't going in. The puck was either bouncing or they couldn't get. Here's a perfect pass across to Tonelli. He lets it go in all in one motion. I don't know if Bossy tipped it there or not. He was right on the goal crease.
He got it.
He did. Yes,
Bossy got it. There was no question about that. It was originally given and maybe announced as a Tonelli goal. Mike Bossy clearly got that goal. Well, Mike Bossy, who has been certainly doing his job for Canada, and what you expect out of a Mike Bossy is goals. What's that, his fourth?
Fourth goal of the series, and it's nice to see Canada score on the power play. They had a little tough luck. They were only 1 for 7 the other night against Sweden. Big goal for Canada.
All right, 2-0 now. To the line is Dudacek. Dudacek dropping it off, swinging through his Corbella. Corbella in front now, it's deflected wide. And Canada, again, that's a power play goal now. A tough penalty to be called on Czechoslovakia on the play. Behind the net, here is Bork. Bork out now to center ice. Middleton breaking out on a 2-on-1. Middleton with Gretzky. Gretzky's got the puck. Middleton going for the net. There he is! And he couldn't relay that puck towards the net. Off the heel of his stick, just a little bit ahead of him.
Great move by Pasha coming back, picking up Middleton.
Bork ahead. Gretzky to the line now. Gretzky trying to cut around the defense. He's alone. Backhand shot. Down goes Hasek. That's the Gretzky we've been looking for.
Certainly, Gretzky made a great move on the defenseman there. A little burst of speed, catching the defenseman flat-footed. He takes his time here. He takes his time to look. He wants to draw the puck across, possibly tuck it in. Hasek, who is very tall, he sprawls out. He's a butterfly-type goalie. Gets a piece of it here.
Well, Gretzky did everything right. Might have got it up a little higher, but really, what can you say? Here's a chance again for Canada over in front of the net bench. Stosny couldn't reach it. Rolls it into the crease again. Players down, including Hasek. We'll have a face-off deep in the Czechoslovakian end. Canada leading 2-0. Bossy and Sutter with the goals. The Islander group doing well. Tonelli has 2 points in this game already. Coffey picked up the other assist. There's Dominic Hasek.
He sure doesn't weigh very much. only 138 pounds.
All right, Stastny out there facing off against Peter Klima on the face-off. Shot wide. Stastny reaches for it, rolls to the side of the net, and is held there for another face-off. Stastny looking much better in this hockey game than he has. He appeared through the early stages of this tournament to be very, very tight.
Well, I would imagine he's really emotionally high. Here he is playing against his former teammates, and they give him two new wingers tonight in Anderson and Messier, and he knows what this game means to the Canadian Hockey Club.
Look at that weight to height difference. That is an amazing statistic. 138 pounds.
He's a string bean.
Dominik Hasek. He's a good one. We've seen a lot of him over the years. Now here's Coffey. Coffey's shot deflected to the goal mouth area. Messier picks it up. Messier's got Coffey on the far side. Hits him with a pass. Now there's Stastny in front of the net. If they can get it to him, they do. He has to beat it back. Now Messier shot it high on Hasek. And then gave Glenn Anderson a bit of a whack as Anderson was cutting across in front of the net. Canada 2, Czechoslovakia nothing. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
Czechoslovakia lines up a little differently here than we do in the NHL. They always put the defenseman in behind their centerman and leave the guy open on the boards. Now, if I'm a centerman, I'm going to try to draw that puck to Messier for an open shot, an open pass back to the defenseman.
Robinson now at the line. That in deep. Stastny's there. Stastny trying to work it out in front for Messier. Failed to do so. Against the boards now, kicking it along behind the net. Messier out in front, and it went off the stick there of Anderson, and he just couldn't see it. Then Czechoslovakia breaking out now down over the line. Lukas rolling it in front of the net. Svozil couldn't get the shot away. Now in against the boards. Svozil. Canada breaks out now. 2-on-2. Hitting the line is Stastny. Stastny dropping it off. Trailing on the play as Coffey rolls it to the side of the net. Stastny's back there. Stastny back to the blue line. Gartner's shot. He came right off the bench and let it go, and it deflected up into the crowd.
Canada are making quick changes, and I think that's what they have to do to be very effective in this series. They're not out there very long. 30, 40 seconds off, the next guys go, and they have to do that to maintain.
That was Gartner, and he just let it go as he came off the bench. And the save is made by Hasek. That's the sixth save. The shots on goal, 6-2 favor Team Canada. By the way, Czechoslovakia is the home team in this hockey game.
We got good fan support here tonight.
Yzerman, and they didn't take the face-off fairly, so they'll do it all over again. Again, the referee is Yuri Karandin. Some of the fans here, including old super fan down there. He's got him worked up pretty good on the far side.
It sure helps the players, I know, when the fans get behind them and get them pumped up.
That was Bork to Gartner there. Gartner shot it just wide. Musil brings it out using that strength and size of his. A rink-wide pass. Lala's over the line, drops it back, goes all the way to center ice, and Kodletz has got it. Kodletz working past the check now. Kodletz still at the line. Ducks pass, then he shot it behind Lala, who hadn't seen the pass. Canada's back again. Yzerman, but he was unable to get loose. Overskated. Yzerman against the boards now. Bourne is there as well. Back is low. Low in his own zone. Stops up. There's it ahead. Good pass. Lead pass now for Gartner, trying to catch up to it along the boards. Hasek plays the puck up against the boards. Moving in is Bourne. Bourne steering it into the corner, trying to get it out in front. Yzerman now. Yzerman swinging into the corner. Yzerman. Bourne is in there along with Lala. Right in front of Eddie Westphal, who's down in that corner there. Eddie, what do you see from that angle?
We're watching Team Czechoslovakia in the warm-ups. Seem to see a little difference in the way they appear. They were very loose, very happy before the game started. And, of course, with the pressure Team Canada is applying, all that loosey-goosiness is now leaving them, and they're starting to tighten up under the pressure.
Well, we've got Sutter, Tonelli, and Bossy out there again. They have been on the ice for the 2 goals, one on a power play. Canada leading 2-0 here. They played 8 minutes and 17 seconds of the first period. This game, crucial. Canada's faced crucial games in these tournaments before, and have come up with big efforts. Here's Tonelli with the shot. Here behind the net. That was the 7th shot on Hasek. In the corner. Czechoslovakia trying to get it going. They're having trouble under the checking. Now out at center ice, Hasek. Hasek getting it ahead for Korbola. Korbola takes the shot off the shoulder of Lavalin. Rolls to the side of the net. In there is Hasek, number 21 for Czechoslovakia. And they will jam it against the netting behind Rajan Lavalin. And we'll get a face-off.
Well, Réjean Lemelin, as you know, he was the third goalie in training camp. He went home to New Jersey. He caught a bout of the flu. He was in bed for 4 or 5 days and started to drive his family off to Calgary, and they give him the call. And he hasn't had much practice time. He caught up with a team in Vancouver, and he's a real big favorite here at the Saddle Dome.
You hear the Red G. He is a big favorite. He's an excellent goaltender, too. Trying to get out of his zone. There could have been a penalty. Yes, there is a penalty. Upended coming out of his zone was Tonelli. And Canada goes on the power play once again. The face-off will be at center ice. And heading for the penalty box is Stabiana.
Tonelli picks the puck up, and he just tries to skate. Obvious trip there. And let's see if Canada can go ahead 3-0. A big goal right here for Canada if they can get it.
Well, Antonin Stabiana, we're tripping at 8:50. And we'll take a look at the power play now. We've got Michel Goulet out there along with Middleton and Gretzky and Robinson.
Number 16, Antonin Stabiana.
And Bossy is playing the point, so we've got some gunners out there. Here's the point. That's Coffey, rather, not Bossy. And now Middleton rink wide. And Czechoslovakia coming out of his own zone is Horshova. The veteran, he shoots it in. Wide of the Team Canada net, bounces back towards Lemelin, left for Robinson. Robinson ahead at center ice. Goulet shooting it in, round the boards. Middleton will pick it up on this side. Middleton losing it, cleared back out through center ice by Peter Klima. Lemelin way out of his net, fires it off the boards, and Goulet's got it. Goulet, Middleton with Robinson and Gretzky, and it's deflected away from Gretzky. Czechoslovakia with Peter Klima now. Klima to the line. Klima still with those good moves. Gets in front. The shot. Lemelin played it. Loose puck in front. Klima back near the blue line now. Here's Overa. His shot. Coffey starting out. Coffey. Good move. He falls down as he tried to come out of the zone. Gretzky swings back. Picks up the loose puck. Canada makes a change. Here's Gretzky to the line. Fakes the shot. Now shoots it. And he shot it off the stick of Overa. It came to Hasek at the side of the net, who covered up and held for the face-off. 46 seconds remaining in the penalty.
You can sense the spark there with Team Canada. Reggie's made a couple big saves at the right time. Here's Klima. He's a good young player. He gets around Larry. Lemelin stands his ground. He's a good stand-up goalie. The puck goes right out to the point man here. Lemelin makes another good save.
Sutter out there with Tonelli and Bossy. At the point along with Gretzky. Falling in his own zone, trying to bring it out, and it wound up underneath the player. I believe that was Musil. Doug Wilson has left the bench area for Team Canada, so we'll have to wait for a report on him, whether it was the knee, a leg injury, or in fact just the collision with the boards. An interesting statistic there. Czechoslovakia with an average age of 23 years. They have 6 gone from the Olympic team that played last February in Sarajevo. Here's Bork. Bork, Gretzky, or at least Low shot. And that one was knocked away from the net area by Hasek. Back to Low again. Low getting set, tees it up, then sends it in deep. Back out to Bork. Bork shot right on. A lot of traffic in front of that net, but Hasek was up to the occasion with Sutter parked just outside the crease. And he holds for another face-off, and 24 seconds remaining in the power play. Canada leading 2-0.
The majority of the Czech players are drafted or have been drafted by NHL hockey clubs, and I'm sure there's a lot of general managers here scouting them, hoping maybe they can get them out of Czechoslovakia.
Back for Bork. Bork in for Tonelli. Tonelli having trouble holding it under some checking there from Horshova, and it's out center ice. Bork going back. Also across ice is Low to pick it up. He takes it behind his own net with 12 seconds left in the power play. Out comes Low. Ahead. Hitting the rush. He hits the line. Trying to duck around is Tonelli. Here's Sutter. Tonelli shot it wide. Tonelli with a great chance from Sutter. This line is really clicking. Now along the boards. Out comes Lala. Lala clearing it down the ice into Team Canada territory. Low is back to pick it up now as Canada makes a change. The lead pass at center ice. Drop back once again. Moving up. And over the line is Huddy. Huddy into the corner. Checked in there by Musil. Checked free. Comes to the side of the net and fired out through center ice. Knocked down in the center ice zone. Messier's back there. Gets that pass. Messier. Canada As Huddy picks up the pass, gives to Messier. Messier at center ice now fights off a check, gives it to Anderson. Anderson back to Messier. Messier's got a man in front of him. He can get it to him, but he was unable to. That was Stosny parked at the side of the net. And out at center ice once again. To the line. It's Formula. Formula trying to get set in front. Checked by Huddy. Rolls it in front. There's a chance. Chance for Paschek, but he was checked just as he let it go. And against the boards again. Canada trying to work it to center ice and does. It was batted back in offside, and we'll have a face-off outside the Team Canada zone. 2-0 Canada. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
Leon Stickle, 14 years in the National Hockey League. Do you have to do anything different for international hockey than the National Hockey League when you're thinking about these games?
Well, the biggest thing is change of concentrations. First of all, you're working with officials from all over the world. Your system is a little bit different. You tend to have to talk a little bit more to the guys you're working with because you haven't worked with them before. You're constantly aware of the different rule changes. The biggest one in our game right now is the major penalties for fighting. We don't have those. They're match penalties, 2-game suspension. So you'll see a lot of things happen out here that you're not used to watching during your Saturday night hockey games at home, and it is a variance in the IHF rules. So.
Thank you, Leon.
There is Rosso coming through center ice. He is checked as he hit the line by Coffey. Robinson moves across. Now Coffey and Robinson seem to be the defensive pair now without Wilson in the game. Ahead, had to get it to Anderson. Trailing on the play with Stosny. Stosny much better in this hockey game. Up against the boards. Taking it loose is Horshava. Horshava working to the line now. Horshava in front, trying to get it over for Fredina. Fredina clearing it in front, intercepted by Yzerman. Yzerman starting out now, that lead pass at center ice. Up on the wing, Gardner cleared over the line. Yzerman, now there's a chance. Gardner in front of the net. They couldn't get it to him. As working for the net was Bourne. And it's cleared back out to center ice. That quick outlet pass as Savozio picks it up, trailing as Lukács. He couldn't get the pass. It's at center ice. Gardner. Gardner to Yzerman, off his stick. Back again comes Czechoslovakia with Svozil over the line. The shot right on, or just over top of the shoulder pad of Lemelin. Comes out to center ice. It's Uvira. Uvira to the line. He stopped. Now at the side of the net, and there's going to be an offside call by linesman Kevin Collins. Face off outside the blue line.
There's Ludi Bukac. I was talking to him early this morning and asking him about his hockey club, if he was disappointed. They haven't won a game in 7 games, but he thought they played very well against the States the other night. They just weren't putting the puck in the net. They weren't getting the chances.
And running into a frustration that many have run into over the last year or so, Tom Barrasso. Here's Canada breaking it out in front. Gretzky couldn't reach the pass, but Middleton's got it. Rebound, shot it. Scores! Middleton got his own rebound.
Middleton was left all alone here. He picks up a puck, good backhand, chips in his own rebound. Good hustle by Goulet to get that puck in the corner. Look, sees Middleton, Gretzky out in front.
Team Canada goal, score number 16.
You see him cutting through the slot. A good backhand starting. One along the ice, one up top.
Those were the breaks we weren't getting earlier. Good to see him going in.
Middleton, Goulet. They say unassisted. PA said unassisted. I think Goulet will get some credit for that. Center ice zone. It's cleared back into the Czechoslovakian end. And what have we got here? We've got a player down in the center ice zone. That's Goulet, I believe, who appeared to take a high stick. 13 minutes, 43 seconds gone in the first period, and Canada now has a 3-0 lead, and they're playing the best hockey they've played since they were assembled.
Well, they're fired up, that's for sure. I know they all realize that they didn't win tonight. It'll be awful tough to beat the Russians, and
you see what happened there. Looks like the puck hit him.
The Czech forward turned around, and I think he got him with a stick in the face after Goulet was down. Cut over the nose.
Here it is, early September, and he looks like he's been through 3 wars already. Michel Goulet, 50-goal scorer with the Quebec Nordic. Last year, 56 goals, 120 points. Over the line it comes. Huddy. Czechoslovak zone. And the loose puck is picked up by Salder. Salder clearing it straight up ice. Now we've got a 2-on-1, and the pass was behind Ruzicka. Canada's got Czechoslovakia off balance, it would seem. Now, they rushed that pass, it looked like, and it wound up behind them. We'll take a break. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Well, Michel Goulet is being worked upon on the bench. We've played 14 minutes here in the first period. Canada is leading 3-0. Goals by Middleton, Bossy, and Sutter. That's Huddy in his own zone. Gets the return pass along to Bossy. Bossy's working it back towards Huddy. Now trying to cut through some traffic there. Salder's in the middle there. And it's back. Back inside the zone. Now the report on Wilson, we've just received it, is that he's hurt his left knee. He's icing it down right now, and they're going to try it again in the next period. Offside there at the line, is bringing it in with Salder. Team captain for Czechoslovakia. And there you see him heading for the bench. Vladimir Salder plays for Bujovice, Czechoslovakia. Budweiser, if you want. That's the German name for the city. There's our friend, the superfan, who comes well equipped. And he's making a lot of noise. Here's a giveaway right inside the zone. And quickly the defense put the pressure on Dudacek. Shot it over top of the net. Here's Scotty Bowman's watching this game, and Dudacek very closely. He's the first-round choice for Buffalo. Messier at the side of the net. Stastny. Messier trying to get it back to Stastny. Czechoslovakia with Pašek shooting at the center ice. Anderson will try his luck. Anderson over the line. Anderson going to get set. Drops it back now. Here's Stastny spun around on the play as he tried to get set inside the blue line. Out comes Dudacek. He's checked on the play as he was ridden up against the glass by the Team Canada defense and Ray Bourque. Now it's Lowe. Over the line. Canada unable to get loose as he cut through there with Mike Gartner. Stastny's there, but it's poked out to center ice. All Coffey over for it. Coffey, Huddy. Stopping, beating it ahead for Yzerman. Yzerman to the line. Bourne around the boards for Gartner. Gartner in behind the net. Yzerman deflected it, but it went into the corner on the far side. Bourne in front. Now Gartner shot it wide. What a chance that Gartner just quickly wristed it wide of the net. Now here's Bourne, the shot. It hit the side of the net, bounces high in the air. Now Gartner into the ice. Yzerman's there. Gartner looking for a man in front. He rolls it out in front as pinching in from the point was Coffey. Out comes Czechoslovakia with Hrdina in over the line. Checked by Huddy. Hrdina again. Around the net. Out in front. It's intercepted by the defense and put out the center ice. Here's Coffey. Over the line, Gartner working for the net now, and he is hauled down from behind. Czechoslovakia at center ice, all the way down into the Team Canada zone. Lowe will go back to get it, no icing. Up along the boards, clear to the Team Canada line. Now here's a shot by Goulet. It's held by Pašek for the faceoff.
Nice play by Wayne Gretzky there. He picks the puck up with his skate, sees Goulet breaking for the hole, and put him right in there for a good shot.
Well, Hasek has been under pressure. The shots on goal in this period tell you the whole story of the period. Sometimes they're deceptive. But the shots on goal, Canada 12, Czechoslovakia 3. So it has not been a difficult period for Reggie Lemelin.
I would imagine Reggie feels pretty good, that 3-0 lead. He hasn't played very much in the last few weeks.
Now center ice, Czechoslovakia with Leva. He shot it off. Gretzky stick. Here comes Gretzky back in over the line, but getting back very quickly with that good speed that Leva has. Managed to prevent any further play on it. Now it's clear back inside Czechoslovakian territory. Out center ice now, Musiel, the big fella, hit the line. Bourque played him, and the puck went in offside. So we'll have a face-off outside the blue line once again, outside the Team Canada line.
Canada's checking very, very well tonight. They're not giving the Czechoslovakian team any chance to get set up, get those shots away. They're playing with a lot of intensity, like I said earlier. Good, short, hard shifts. That's what you have to do to get everybody into the game. And
well, this line here has been a real thorn in the side of Czechoslovakia. Sutter, along with Bossy and Tonelli. Good move coming through center ice now is Coffey. Coffey just relayed it in. Sutter goes in after it now. Sutter looking for a man. Gets to the Bossy. Out into the slot. Cruising around out there was Tonelli, but he couldn't get it to him. Now batted out to center ice. Just spinning and firing it was Uvira. Robinson will go back. Clears it around the board as the icing is waved off. Rink-wide pass for Bossy. Bossy ahead for Robinson. Robinson at full flight now over the line. Robinson getting it over now. Trying to get it to Tonelli, and Tonelli got it caught up in his skate. Here is Ruzicka. Ruzicka over the line. He's checked off the puck. In the corner is Lala. Lala being knocked down by Sutter, and it's held under his pads to a face-off in the corner.
This line of Salter, Ruzicki, and Lala were expected to help carry this hockey club. They haven't scored a goal in the tournament. I think very disappointing.
Well, Salter was second. There you see him, the team captain. Second to Ruzicka in the league scoring championship race last year. We've got 2 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the period. And Canada is leading 3-0 on goals by Middleton, Bossy, and Sutter. Kevin Lowe with the puck. Lowe having trouble under some forechecking pressure. Now gets it away for Anderson, who shoots it out to center ice. This is onside. Over the line comes Stastny. Stastny making the move. Now into the slot. Pulled down as he went for the net. Was Mark Messier, and there'll be a penalty. Nicely set up by Stastny. He got it out to Messier, and that was about all the defenseman could do.
Well, that was a smart play on behalf of the Czechoslovakian player. Messier would have had the whole open net to put it in there. Great play by Peter Stastny, getting around the defenseman to get himself into position to throw that backhand pass across.
Well, there it is, and you see, Stastny made the fake, then went in deep. He was obviously playing the pass, played it beautifully. So Corbella is now off on the tripping, and Canada on the power play. They've struck once on the power play. Bork at center ice. Lima checking him. Bork beat him. Over the line it comes. Anderson dropping in deep. Anderson back on the return pass. They tried to give him go, and it was intercepted by Klima. Just stripped that play. Klima passes it out through center ice, and Kevin Lowe's got it. The defensive pairing is Lowe and Bork. Stastny's out there on this power play. Bork to the line now. Bork in deep. Messier, quick shot, scores! Picks the far side. 4-0 Canada. Good wrist shot.
That's Messier. He's good at coming down the wing on his off wing. Puts the puck on his forehand. Don't know if Hasek was ready or not. Messier just lets a quick, hard wrist shot go low into the bottom corner. Hasek caught maybe a little flat-footed, but a good shot inside the post.
There it is. And you're right, coming off the right side, they're off wing. And don't do that enough, I think, in the National Hockey League, really.
You definitely have an advantage when you're left-hand shot. You notice the Europeans, a lot of them, they play the opposite sides. The right-hand shot plays the left side, vice versa.
Well, one fellow who did it very well and with a great deal of success was Rocket Richard. Over the line now is Svozil. Svozil is stopped on the play. Power play goal for Canada. Bork and Lowe draw the assist on the Messier goal. It came at 18:35. We've got 1:08 left in the period now, and offside at the Czechoslovakian line as we look there at Edward Uvira, 23-year-old who loves to hit, plays for Litvinov in Czechoslovakia. Played on 2 world championships and an Olympics, and he's a big fellow, over 200 pounds, 6 feet. That's a pretty good-sized defense pairing they have there with Uvira and Musil.
They're both pretty tough guys, they are.
Uvira in a fight in a game in the exhibition side with Bob Bourne. Here's Bourne jamming up against the boards right now, and in there to pin it against the boards was Sabozil and Lukats, and so we'll have the face-off outside the Team Canada blue line. Well, I'll tell you, talk about your lonely end. Right down there is Reggie Lemelin. He's quite happy, I'm sure, to see only 4 shots all period. Shots on goal are 13-4, and I'll tell you one thing about Canada. They went out, they took it to them right off the opening whistle, and they have really put Czechoslovakia back on their heels. Here's Musil back behind his own net. The pass off the leg of Leba as he was cutting across. Canada regrouping and fired right back in again. Forechecking for Canada, Sutter. Bossy's got it against the boards, comes along the boards and out to center ice of Ozil. Rink wide pass and over skating the puck with Lukatz. Cleared into an open wing. Canada again. Bossy at center ice with Sutter. Bossy to the line now, catching up is Tonelli. Bossy fading, gets it in, trying to get it to Tonelli, flipping it over a couple of sticks, but Lukatz was there. Lukatz being checked in against the boards by Sutter. Sutter, Lukatz in there. They hold it. And a little face-off. As the siren goes, or no, I heard a siren, but there's 12 seconds left on the clock. As we see Brent Sutter, one of his brothers here watching the game just below us, as a matter of fact. One of your teammates, Darryl.
Newlywed Rich. You'll see him in a couple of weeks in training camp.
Yeah.
The Czechs have changed their format on the faceoffs now. They do have someone up on the boards there, not giving Canada that free shot.
At the line, low, shooting it in deep for Gretzky. Gretzky digs it loose, pushes it into the slot area, and just holding it against the post. With 4 seconds left is Hasek.
I think Canada's wise to take as many faceoffs as they can. They've been winning the majority of them tonight. And anytime you get a faceoff in the other team's end and you win it, it's a good chance to score.
I wonder if he feels any better.
Well, a little pressure off him, a little relief.
Can't let up, though. That's the thing about this kind of hockey. Gretzky will take the draw here. He's out there with Middleton. Goulet. 4 seconds left, so we've got Lala to take the draw. 4-0, Canada leading. Now, what is the delay here? Nobody's lining up very well. Dean, what is the problem? Gretzky's been kicked out. I guess that's the... all right. Lord Prosecutor says, get out of there. Get this thing underway here. Goulet is going to take the draw. 4 seconds left, taking longer than most of the period took. Now, it was Middleton who hustled into the face-off circle. Out they come now, and that'll be it as the long bouncing puck is stopped by Lemelin. Well, it's been quite a period for Canada. Clearly their best of the whole tournament. Canada outshot Czechoslovakia 14-4. And they have a 4-0 lead on goals by Sutter, Bossy, Middleton, and Messier. So, after one period here at the Olympic Saddle Dome in Calgary, Canada 4, Czechoslovakia nothing. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. This from a fellow that Scotty Bowman called the best junior player in the world in 1981 and drafted him in the first round. Here's Leba trying to get loose. Canada with Messier shooting it right back in again. Out of his net is Hasek. Cleared around the boards. That's Schindel. They've made a goaltending change. They have now put Schindel in inside his own zone. That is Leba. Can't blame Schindel for, or at least Hasek, for the problems Czechoslovakia's had. He hasn't had much defensive help out there, and Canada has just been really very, very tough. Messier against the boards. He's pinned in against the boards. A little extra pushing there between Messier and Kodletz. Right in front of the Czechoslovak bench. There's Jaromir Schindel. He plays with Dukla, the Army team in Jelaba, Czechoslovakia.
He was very impressive in the Olympics in Sarajevo. I guess he played very, very well against the Russians. Hasn't seen much action in this tournament.
He was their main goaltender in Sarajevo as they were just slowly bringing Hasek along. Bouncing puck inside his own. Low gets it to Gartner. Gartner out of center ice, shooting it in the corner on this side. Hustling in after now is Bourne, but back there to pick it up quickly is Staviana. Now dug loose by Eiserman. Bourne's in the corner. It's at his feet. He doesn't see it. And Czechoslovakia with Salder. Salder through center ice and down into the Team Canada zone. Ruzicka leaves it for Bork. Bork out at center ice. Working to the line now is Eiserman. Young Steve Eiserman in front, and a nice defensive job there by Musil to prevent Bourne from getting his stick on that puck. Hits the line now. It's Lala. Lala, and again the Canada defense is tightening up. It's cleared all the way down the ice, right on Schindel. Musil out at center ice past Sutter. Taking it loose along the boards. Hasek, he's over the line, tied up, rolls it in front, rolls right to the goal mouth, and alertly steered into the corner by Lemelin. Again, back to the blue line. Kodletz with a shot, and that's off the leg of Sutter. Chopped out to center ice. Ubera Turning at center ice, working it to the line, past everybody. Again, Coffey. Backhanded off the boards by Bork, out through center ice now. Tonelli moving in to try and cover up. There's Bossy in front of the net, and it's fired off the boards. Huddy at the far point. Huddy trying to shoot it through a crowd. Bossy now on his leg. Bossy turning on the play. That's Tonelli. Tonelli against the boards. Tonelli fights off a check. A lot of hard work there. Dudacek trying to dig it loose. It's out at center ice. Dudacek's got it. They're back into the Team Canada zone. Coffey to Bork. Coffey circling, coming up through center ice now with that great speed of his. Drops it off. Nice play. And Bossy had it taken right off his stick. And a shot to center ice once again. Here's the shot. The save is made by Lemela. He gets a big hand. Klima behind the net, digging it loose. Klima circling. Still with that puck. He falls as he was checked. And it's Tonelli. Out for Bossy. Bossy to Huddy. Huddy just outside the blue line. Ahead for Tonelli, who deflects it in. It's offside with Gretzky trapped inside the blue line. We'll have a face-off. There you see the score. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
Canada has to be careful not to allow the Czechs to get the 2-on-1. They have a 4-0 lead, and they should be thinking defense more now than offense. And Czechs had a 2-on-1 break there.
Goulet out at center ice. Gretzky gets the pass now. Gretzky trying to split the defense. Fights his way through. But the puck rolled off the end of the stick. Goulet's in there. Chops it into the corner. Back there along with Goulet is Rosol. He clears it around the boards. And out comes Czechoslovakia with Kotlitz carrying the puck. He hits the line now. Trying to work for the corner. Musil's back there. Gretzky pokes it free. Canada on his way out to center ice is Bork. He is tripped up as he hit the line by Hrdina. Here's Klima, his shot off a stick. Klima has been the best for Czechoslovakia here. Behind the net. Down goes Hrdina as he's checked, and Klima's got the puck. Klima fanned on it. Now lost possession. Middleton ahead. Trying to get it to Gretzky, and it's cleared back into the Team Canada zone with a player trapped, so it's offside. Well, we're in the Olympic Saddle Dome in Calgary. And we'll be seeing so much action in this building in 1988 on CTV with the Olympic Winter Games. Figure skating will be held here, along with, of course, the Olympic tournament, the hockey tournament, and the closing ceremonies.
Just to report up here, Doug Wilson apparently has injured both knees, and he won't play in the rest of tonight's game, but hopefully he'll be back the rest of the series.
There's a big loss. Puck bouncing loose in front of the net. Down goes Lemela. In close there on that chance for Savozil, and Lemela just lay down. That's all he had to do. He was in so tight on him that there was no way they were going to get it over top of him.
Well, Reggie's a big guy. He covers a lot of net. And it's nice to hear the fans cheer him, get him behind him. He's the favorite of the Calgary Flames.
Reggie. There's Lukats. A great scorer. 13 seasons in the Czechoslovakian League. He plays with Kosice. He scored 49 goals one year, and that's unheard of, that many in their schedule, which is short. Here's a chance for Anderson, and he just mishandled it deep in the zone. Uvira carrying it to center ice, and he put it right back on Peter Stastny's stick. Stastny fed it back to Czechoslovak blue line. Staviano shooting it into Canadian territory, and it is called, and I think there's going to be an interference penalty issued here. Yuri Karandin to Glenn Anderson, and Canada will go short-handed here for the first time in the hockey game.
There's Anderson at the top of the screen there, just interfering, pulling the Czech forward down. Referee had to call it.
Number 9, Glenn Anderson.
So that penalty comes at the 4:08 mark of the second period. Canada leading 4-0, and again, you don't want to let up. Canada has played very, very well here. You don't want to lose that kind of momentum that they had in the first period, because although a 4-0 deficit is difficult to come from behind on, it is still not unheard of.
Czechoslovakia have only scored 6 goals all total in the series, so we know what they can do. They've got a pretty explosive team. You don't want to be giving them too many good chances.
They were shut out by the Soviets. Here's a shot that's wide out of the net, taken from the blue line by Horshova. Not cleared in front, and golf down the ice by Messier. Out of his net is Schindel, Jaromir Schindel, the Czechoslovak goaltender. Salder now at center ice, being hurried from behind by Gretzky, and that worked as it's cleared down the ice by the Team Canada defense. Horshova backing up behind his own net, stopping there. This reason to second guess the selection of this Czechoslovak team. They've rid themselves of two very, very important veterans. They're inside the zone now. Kodlet's moving in. Kodlet's shooting it into a crowd in front of the net. Sprawling was Kevin Lowe. It's been off the boards and out to center ice as Kodlet had come in from his point position and was working in front of the net. Turning is Ruzicka, number 17, over for Kodlet's. He's number 8. He's a veteran. Kodlet's over the line and offside, and Ruzicka in ahead of that play. But we mentioned that they left off two people I think that were very, very important to this team in the Olympic tournament. Chernik, who was the captain of this team, number 12 during the Olympic tournament, and also Halupa. Both of them will be going to Detroit for the coming NHL season and their training camp. And I really think that they probably would have been valuable in a tournament like this.
Well, you can't replace that experience those two fellows have, but the Czech organization feels they're rewarding their players, their older players, by allowing them to go to the National Hockey League and make a living as long as they come back home.
Now here's Musil behind his net. Ahead for Hrdina. 44 seconds left in the power play now. Out at center ice, it's Hrdina. Jesse Hrdina dropping it off. It's Musil shooting it in. Back there quickly is Coffey. Takes it behind his own net, loses it momentarily, feeds it along the boards and out to center ice. Here's Ovira. Back to the line. Klima, Petra Klima, clearly the best player for Czechoslovakia in this game. Klima down over the line now. Robinson giving chase, trying to fight off that check, and Robinson did a number on him. Wound up in against the boards. Now Hrdina to the side of the net. Out in front, there's Klima. Oh, and he shot it, he scores! And Czechoslovakia is on the board.
Very nice play here. Canada loses the puck along the boards. Klima's alone.
Good setup there by Rosso.
All alone in front of the net. He picks the top corner. Good shot. Lemelin might have went down a little earlier there.
So Petra Klima, we're just mentioning he had been the best certainly for Czechoslovakia tonight, and there he is with the goal, a power play goal at that.
He belongs to the Detroit Red Wings. I'm sure they'd love to have him.
The team in the NHL wouldn't mind having him. Kevin Lowe now. It's a 4-1 hockey game out near the line, and Korbola loses it at the line, and back comes Stabiana into his own zone to pick it up. Stabiana, another one of the youngsters. Ahead, out along the boards for Dudacek. Dudacek to the line now. Dudacek ducking past the check, lost balance. And behind his own net is Bourne. Bourne fans on it. Dudacek in there, poked it free. Yzerman deflecting it along the boards, kept in by Pashek, intercepted. Bork comes out. Bork, the lead pass, trying to get it to Gartner. Couldn't reach it. Bork carries it in over the line himself, stops right at the line, drops it in there, and it was deflected. Now at the side of the net. Out in front for Bourne. Bork keeping it in behind the net for Yzerman. Gartner's there as well. Gartner reaching for it, checked away from him by Korbola. Behind his own net, Horshova out near the line, knocked down by Gartner, fires it off the boards for Yzerman to Gartner. Gartner shot! In against the boards for Canada, that's Goulet. Coffey in front. Goulet had to go off his chest near the line. Canada working it in now is Coffey. He couldn't get free. Back out at center ice for Czechoslovakia is Lala. Huddy out along the boards. Gartner standing still on the play. Now fed it down into the Czechoslovak zone. Ovira along the boards. Middleton hoisting it back for Goulet. Goulet trying to get it in front. He was checked there by Igor Liba. Liba slides out to Svozil. Behind the net, Svozil with Middleton on top of him. Middleton pokes it free. Gretzky into the corner. Out in front. Here's a shot. Great work by one Middleton, two Gretzky, and the good backhand to put it in by Goulet.
And there again, Canada gets on the Czechoslovakian defense. They make them cough up the puck. Gretzky, as we all know, is a super player in behind that goal line, in behind the net. He sees Goulet all alone out in front. Nice backhand in between the legs.
Right off the post. Well, we're used to seeing Gretzky do that from behind the net.
Goulet made a nice play by kicking the puck up with his skate onto his backhand and scoring.
Those fundamentals 7:54. Gretzky and Middleton will get the other assist, I'm sure. Middleton's having a pretty good night as well. By the way, there's a change in the Middleton goal, which was originally given as an unassisted goal at 13:28 of the first period. They have added assist to Goulet and Bourque on that one. So Canada's leading 5-1 right now. And that, I think, was a very important goal because Czechoslovakia was showing signs of getting back in this game. Salder. Gretzky digs it loose. Salder again. There's Gretzky along with Huddy. Gretzky around the boards on this side. And it's Coffey. Coffey misplayed it. Now back in comes Lalo alone. His shot is wide. He went to the backhand. Coffey trying to come out of the zone, and the stick handled with nobody behind him in his own zone. That's a no-no. Now the puck is cleared into Czechoslovakia territory. Huddy moves up. Canada on a change. Huddy shooting it into the corner. He's got Gretzky in front. He rolls right through the crease. Now here's Messier. His shot's deflected up against the glass. Middleton at the point, unable to contain it. Rosol over the line with Klima. Rosol now drops it back, getting set in front of the net is Radina. He cleared it to Klima. Klima, Radina on the far side. Klima carries it back, gives it to Radina, gets the quick shot away, but it was blocked at the defense. That is deflected by Middleton out to center ice. Musil in his own zone. He passed it right past Radina. In there comes Anderson. Right at the line, having trouble handling it as he tried to come out of the zone with Rosol. Now it's Klima getting around the defense, getting set, and out comes Lamela to strip the puck. Now Klima again. He clears it in front. Trying to get set is Rosol. He stopped. The shot comes to the point. The rebound. Rosol gets the shot away, and Lamela makes the save. Canada running around a bit in its own zone. Messier starts out. Messier at center ice now, leading the rush for Canada. Gets the pass away for Anderson. Anderson goes down, gets the shot away, but he shot it right up into Schindel. Stastny behind the net. It's held against the boards by Pedro Klima. Stastny pokes it free. Messier trying to get it back to the point. It's cleared out to center ice now off the stick of Salder. Out of his net is Lamela. Clears it to center ice. That lead pass is a two-line pass, and it's called on the offside. 5-1 Canada. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. 10 minutes and 6 seconds gone here in the second period. Past the halfway mark of the hockey game with Canada leading 5-1. Goulet getting the goal from Gretzky and Middleton, the fifth Canada goal. Huddy at center ice. It's checked away from him, but as he did so, Lebo lost his stick. Now out at center ice, Canada. Leading the rush is Yzerman. Yzerman hit the line, but it was checked away from him by Horsheva. Now a shot by Lukács. Bounces off the backboards. Huddy doing a lot of heavy work there. Now a quick shot there. A dangerous play inside the zone. Rolled in front of the net again. Out to the blue line. On the far side, Horsheva. His shot deflected wide of the net. Up along the boards now. And cleared through center ice and down into Czechoslovakian territory where Horsheva along the boards, stopped by Tonelli just off the bench. Tonelli moving in now. Gartner cleared it, but it's over everybody's head. Paschek at center ice. Paschek along with Dudacek. Paschek checked against the boards here. Dudacek moving in and stick handling with it, but unable to get a shot away. Dudacek in the corner now. Dudacek working with Paschek, who's parked in front of the net. Ubera keeps it in. Canada intercepts. Gartner has checked off his stick. Paschek's got it at center ice. He clears it on this side for Ubera. Ubera to the line now. Tonelli, Dudacek in front, and it's deflected off Paschek's stick and up into the crowd. 5-1 Canada leading. Let's go down to Eddie Westfall. Eddie?
Carl Friesen, goaltender for Team Germany. You're picked twice now as stars in 2 hockey games against Canada and against these same Czechs. Do you have any aspirations of becoming a National Hockey League goaltender?
Well, becoming a National Hockey League goaltender was never really a goal of mine, but, you know, if something comes up, you know, I'll listen to what they have to say.
You must feel very proud of yourself, Winnipeg native.
Well, yeah, I'm happy about the way I've been playing. I'm happy the way the team's been playing. They've been helping me quite a bit.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
From the face-off, there's a quick shot through a screen by Salder. That is cleared down the ice. Back to get it. Son is touched. It's called on the icing, and we'll have a face-off down in the Team Canada zone again. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
They had a few good chances. They missed the net, but Lemela not getting a whole lot of work tonight.
So we're facing off deep in the Team Canada zone. It'll be Rosicka to take the draw up against Brent Sutter. From the face-off, Robinson around the boards. Tonelli digging it loose now out to center ice. Over the line, and Bossy's offside on that, so we'll have another face-off. 5-1 Canada leading here. And there's Mike Bossy. Can you be a better goal scorer than Bossy? 7 straight 50-goal seasons. 69 goals one year.
He sure can put them in, that's for sure.
And he's done it again, and he's Team Canada's leading goal scorer. He's got 4 so far.
He's still nursing a sore knee. He didn't practice with the hockey club yesterday, and they were wondering whether he was going to be able to play or not tonight.
He's one of those guys who'll go out and play your 80 games every year. And when you play 80 games, and anytime you see that statistic, that means that the guy's gone out there a few times in the rigors of the NHL season and played hurt. Now back along the boards, Warszawa checked and got a pass away into the Team Canada zone. Bork, Robinson, behind the net, Bork once again. Bork, Tonelli digging it loose. It's kicked free. Rosso getting it in deep. Now it's cleared to center ice, and here's Bossy along with Sutter. Bossy tried to get it to Sutter. It hit a leg. Is coming back there was Warszawa, number 4. From behind the net, roll it out in front of the net. It's Sindel. I don't think he saw it until it got behind the goal line, and then he just pounced on it, and he saved the further play. So Canada leading Czechoslovakia 5-1. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Gretzky out there with Middleton and Goulet. Coffey and Huddy, the defensive pairing from the face-off. Well, they'll do that all over again as Lukat's cut into the face-off circle.
Well, there's something Wayne tries to do quite a bit. He tries to go to his forehand to get a shot on goal right from the face-off. It's a difficult play to perfect.
Seen him bat it right out of the air on those puck drops into the net. Here's a shot off a leg. Now here's Svozil back near the line, and Huddy just failed to contain it, and down into the Team Canada zone it goes. Coffey's back there, and icing is called. It's back into Czechoslovakian territory for the face-off. Well, there's Ludek Bukats. Ludi, they call him. Took over after a 5th place finish in the 1980 Olympics. And he is a tremendous hockey mind. He has done some things with his team. Carl Gut, the last time. First, there's a quick shot right off the face-off by Gretzky, and again right off that draw, he was right in there. Against the boards, kept in at the point by Huddy. In for Middleton. Middleton turning, checked there by Musil. Middleton still in there, but Liba picks it up. Liba trying to get the pass away. He's checked by Middleton, coming back on the play. Middleton doing a lot of good work along the boards. It's cleared now to this side, and Lukats brings it up. Lukats, the right winger, the veteran, over the line now. He's got Klima in front of the net, couldn't get the pass to him. And it's in the corner. Svozil turning now. Tucking away from a check is Liba. The shot blocked in front of the net. Huddy chopping it along the boards. Lukats through a crowd, loses possession. Still manages to get it in deep. Huddy's there. Huddy backhanding it off the boards, and it's passed ahead. And actually they rule that he put his glove over the puck, and Musil. Oh, there's Rick Middleton as he comes off the ice while the face-off outside the blue line.
Well, he's got to be happy to get back into the lineup. I know what it's like sitting in the stands and watching. He was a spectator last game, but it's good to see him back and good to see him get a goal tonight.
One of the great two-way players in the National Hockey League. Stastny out there with Messier now, and Anderson. Here's Messier fighting his way past the check, and Messier's got some room. Goes in, shoots, right on the rebound. It's Hasek. Hasek out to center ice. Now picking it up is Bork to low, clears it off the board. Stastny couldn't reach that one. Ubera now ahead. Down over the line comes Dudacek. Dudacek is knocked off the puck by Bork, who went down. Here's a shot wide of the net against the boards now. Messier just digging it loose. Canada being pinned back a bit in the zone in this period. Messier, he's checked by Dudacek. Working behind the net now is Korbola. Korbola looking for a shot. It's loose in front of the net. The shot high into the net. That one by Ubera. And it is hoisted high into the air and down the ice by Raymond Bork. Back to get it. is Stabiana. Stabiana along the boards, past Dudacek and down into Team Canada territory, and Robinson's back there for it. Robinson. Now out comes Canada, that lead pass. Intended for Gardner, it's cleared away. Lala, as it's played by the defenseman, no icing on the play. Lala's checked back behind the net, now cleared out in front. Robinson moves in. Robinson in deep. Gardner's there. Bourne in the corner on this side, but he can't reach that pass. Lala ahead at center ice. A pass by Salter. He stopped on the play. Yzerman getting it back over the line now. Here's Gardner cutting for the net. Trying to clear it out in front of the net. Unable to. Czechoslovakia trying to get loose. Bringing it to center ice is Jesse Lala. Lala to the line along with Ruzicka. Ruzicka's alone, and he shot it wide. Now in against the board, Salter. Robinson's there, pins it in against the boards. Robinson also holding it up there as Ruzicka. A player down. Robinson doing some battling. Finally it is covered up and out of the referee's eyesight, and it's called for a face-off. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Well, Team Canada came into this period, Darrell, with a 4-0 lead, and they seem to have lost a lot of the momentum. They're trying to tighten up inside their zone. But certainly it's been a better period for Czechoslovakia.
Well, they've gone. Czechoslovakia had some good scoring chances, but Canada, psychologically, when you have a 4-0 lead, you're thinking you don't want to get 3 guys caught. You don't want to any 3-on-2s or 2-on-1s against you, and maybe they're not gambling as much for that offensive chance.
Now behind the net, Bork. Bork for Bossy. Here comes Bossy up on the left wing side now. Bossy flipping it ahead for Sutter. He went in ahead of the pass. So it's called on the offside. Well, there's Brent Sutter. Sutter had a good year last year for the Islanders. 34 goals. He and his brother Brian in the camp. Brian perhaps just a bit too slow for this company, and I'll tell you, nobody put more work into a training camp than Brian Sutter did.
And I talked to Brent earlier in the series, and he was wishing Brian was here instead of him, and he really means that, because Brian's been in the National League for a number of years and has played with maybe a weaker club in St. Louis, and to have a chance to play for Team Canada and possibly on a winning hockey club, Brent would have loved to see him get here.
Bossy a little too quick coming in over the line. That was the offside there. 19-year-old plays with Dukla Chilaba, the Army team of Czechoslovakia, and also the league champions last year. Well, back is Klima now. What a player he is. Out at center ice for Lowe. Cleared back in by Bork. Tonelli digging in after that puck, now up against the boards. He got in quickly, bounced it behind the net, and went right by Bossy. Now digging it out, or trying to, is Bork. Winds up down the ice. Kevin Lowe. That's 2 moves and then loses the puck with a player trapped inside the blue line, so we got another offside with 3:49 remaining in the second period. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Coming up during our second intermission, we'll have highlights of the game played earlier today here at the Olympic Saddle Dome, Sweden and Germany. We'll take a look at these new nets, the Meg nets, as they're called. Dennis Meggs, who is the inventor from Kitchener, Ontario, will be one of our guests. The magnetic type nets. And we'll also hear from the president of the International Ice Hockey Federation, Dr. Gunther Zabetsky. All of that during the second intermission. Of course, Bernie and Eddie will be around with the highlights. Along the boards now, it's Goulet, the lead pass, and it was knocked down right at the defense. Leba turns with it now. Leba trying to get set in front of the net. Leba still with that puck as he stick handles through some traffic. Cleared behind the net. There is Svozil. Svozil jammed in there. Gretzky comes in, helps out, and clears it off. Middleton sticking out to center ice. Horshava. Back inside his zone now. A head stolen by Gretzky. He moves in. Gretzky makes a move, gets set, shot it wide. Horshava deep in his zone now. It's batted ahead. Huddy moves in, feeds it behind the net. It's out in front, intended for Goulet off Gretzky, and that was intercepted. Back at center ice, Saviana. The lead pass for Paschek. Back to get it, and touching it is Huddy, and it's called on the icing. And here's Eddie Westfall down in the corner. Eddie?
Interesting to point out, Ron, that in the Canada win against Germany, 7 goals, and they were scored by 3 different players. And here in the hockey game tonight, with Team Canada leading 5-1, 5 different Canada players have scored. Much more balance in the offense.
Well, that's a good sign. Peter Stastny out there, playing certainly much better against his former teammates. Puck is dropped into the corner. Stastny moves in after it along with Messier. This line looking like it will be a cohesive unit for a while. Now in over the line, Dudacek. He's stopped. Run around now. Messier comes in, throws a check. Stastny turns away. Anderson gets it to Stastny at center ice now. Stastny. Peter Stastny to the line now. Stastny cradling that puck, gets it in. Anderson just didn't see it coming as he was screened a little bit by Kadletz, and it winds up in the corner. Messier back near the line, cradles it, then fed it back, but he fed it right to Pashek, and Pashek's over the line. Pashek's shot is wide of the net. Robinson back there. Robinson starting out. The lead pass and a good one for Anderson. Stastny catching up now. Over the line, Anderson dropping it back. Robinson shot. Another shot into the crowd in front of the net. Stastny was there, but the loose puck is picked up by Dusan Pashek, and he shoots it to center ice. Coffey back near his blue line now. Ahead for Gartner. Gartner to Bourne. Intended for Yzerman there, but Yzerman didn't see it coming. Robinson. And a two-line pass from deep inside Czechoslovak territory. And we'll have a face-off back there.
Czechoslovakian defensemen seem to be backing in over the blue line, letting Canada carry the puck over the line, and that's created that Larry Robinson chance there.
Well, there's Ruzicka. Vladimir Ruzicka, who led the Czechoslovak league in scoring last year with 31 goals and 23 assists. He had a great Olympics. He had 4 goals and 6 assists during the Olympic Games as well. Toronto Maple Leafs had drafted him back in 1982. It'll be a while before he'll be leaving Czechoslovakia. Back near the line, Yzerman has forced back out to center ice. And it's fired off the boards. Coffey coming out of his zone. Put it right on the stick of Uvira. Uvira over the line along with Lala. Uvira going in deep, but he had Bork right in on top of him. Lala comes in, picks it up, clears it right out to the blue line now. Or Horshava. His shot coming out is goaltender Reggie Lemelin. Makes the save. There's a good lead pass and a dandy over the line now. Getting set. He fanned on it. What a chance for Gartner, and he fanned on the puck as he tried to get the shot away. Coffey, the shot, off the puck, they score. Gartner, I believe, put his stick on it. Either Gartner or Bourne, they were both in front of the net.
First of all, there was a great play at center ice by young Steve Yzerman. He sees the speed of Gartner. Gartner's coming a little bit from behind. He draws it forward to him. Gartner's in on loan. That resulted in the play getting into the Czechoslovakian end. There's Bossy shooting, or Coffey shooting it. I don't think any...
There's Bourne in front of the net. Now it's loose there. Rush for Bourne. Well, now who got it? I was sure it was Gartner once, then I was sure it was Bourne.
It hit Uvira's skate, and he deflected it in between the legs of Schindel.
So they give it to Coffey. 6-1 Canada. Canada's been the opportunist in this one.
Well, this is what we wanted them to do. We wanted them to put them in on their scoring chances. They would have did that a little earlier in the series. They probably would have won a couple more hockey games.
Bourne will draw an assist, and so will Gartner on that one at 19:01 on the Coffey goal.
And Gartner at 19:01.
That's held to the side of the net by Schindel. Another face-off deep in Czechoslovak territory with 48 seconds left in the second period, and Canada leading now 6-1. Well, as might say, I think Glenn Sather now say, bring on the Soviets. That's Monday night in Edmonton.
That's going to be a good one. We're all looking forward to that one, that's for sure.
Paul Coffey has a goal and an assist here tonight. More than a couple of two-point people. Now Sutter in deep. Sutter jammed in against the boards by Kadletz. Taking it loose is Klima. Klima at center ice now, fanned on it. Coming back is Sutter. Sutter swings it back into his own zone for Lowe. Lowe easing it out to center ice now. There it is, Tonelli. Tonelli over the line now. Sutter's there. Sutter looking for Bossy in front, but as he looked, he lost possession of the puck, and Musil picks it up. Musil shooting it back out to center ice. Larry Robinson knocks it down, kicks it ahead, lost possession. Robinson again. Robinson getting it back. It's shot to the line, and I don't know why that was whistled dead. Larry didn't know either. In any case, we'll have a face-off in the center ice zone. We've got 8 seconds remaining in the second period. Summarizing this period, Canada fell back with a 4-0 lead, Darrell. Sometimes that's dangerous, but they got the power that I guess when they get the chances, they put it in the net. That's what's happening here tonight.
Well, Czechoslovakia came on a little bit. When you're down 4-0, you know you have to open it up, and therefore Czechoslovakia did have some good scoring chances, and Lemelin made some good saves.
And there's the siren to end the period. In the period, Canada was outshot as we get somebody out on the ice cheering everybody on, but Canada was outshot in the period. And the total shots on goal, however, 23-15 favor Canada, 10-9 favor Czechoslovakia in the period. So the score after 2 periods here at the Olympic Saddle Dome in Calgary: Canada 6, Czechoslovakia 1. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Well, as Team Canada carried a big lead into the second period of 4-0, they sat back on Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia did score the first goal. Petr Klima, who may be the best player for Czechoslovakia, scoring on that power play with Anderson off. And then Goulet scoring from Gretzky and Middleton, and Coffey from Bourne and Gartner at 19:01. Czechoslovakia did outshoot Canada 10-9, but a fairly controlled period for Canada. They played well inside their own zone, and so they carry into the third period a big 6-1 lead. And clearly, Darryl Sittler, the best effort by Canada so far in the Canada Cup. But again, maybe typical of Team Canada in this type of competition, where they kind of build. They start slowly and build as the team comes together.
Well, let's hope that's the case. You know, they did show a lot of emotion. There's been a lot of heart out there, and that's what our Canadian players are noted for, their heart. And they can rise to the occasion, and they certainly did that tonight.
Well, our friends from Hewlett-Packard have been supplying all of the statistics for this tournament, and they've come up with some shots on goal statistics for us. The line of Messier, Stastny, and Anderson, total of 6 shots on goal in this game, 6 of the 23 that Canada has so far. And the Gretzky line has a total of 6 as well. Sutter, Bossy, and Tonelli with 3 total, and all of those, interestingly enough, were in the first period. And there are the playing standings right now, the scoring statistics, and look at the man at the top right now. 2 points in this game, 2 goals, 5 assists. He leads the tournament now with a total of 7. Paul Coffey of Team Canada. He's out there with Larry Robinson now, and from the face-off, puck is cleared down into the Czechoslovak zone. Back to get it is Horshava. He touches it, icing is called, and back into the Team Canada zone for a face-off on the icing.
Well, right now, it doesn't look like there's much life in the Czechoslovakian players at all. I think they've pretty well packed it in for tonight.
Well, there's the great one. Certainly he's playing much better in this game, and as is his line. Goulet and Middleton working with Gretzky. Puck is shoveled behind the Team Canada net. Coffey firing it back the other way. Messier getting it out now. Tried to get it to Stastny. Stastny was floating alone in center ice. They just couldn't get it to him, and Liba's got it. Liba, Kadletz dropping it off now for Savozil. Savozil, center ice now. And in over the line is Messier. Messier's got a man in front. Couldn't get it to him again as the check is made. Anderson now out intended for Stastny. There's a shot by Robinson that's wide of the net. And out comes Czechoslovakia once again. Trying to get free was Savozil. He was stopped by Coffey. Anderson over the line. He is knocked over. And against the board, Staviana. Check. Anderson's got the puck now. Back out into the slot for Bork. Bork circling away from one check, but couldn't elude the other one, and it winds up in the corner. Anderson out in front. Stastny just didn't see that coming. At center ice, low to Bork. Back to low again. Back to Bork. Bork ahead. At center ice, Salder. He's checked. Back in over the line comes Goulet. Goulet stopping up now. Forced in against the boards. Also coming in from the point is Bork. Clears it in deep. Gretzky's in there. Now cleared away and out to center ice. Back in over the line for Czechoslovakia is Lala. Lala has his pass intercepted by Lowe. Now it's cleared in front once again. Salder's shot, and it's knocked down by a sprawling Raymond Bork. Back in front of the net. Canada starting out now. Goulet for Middleton. Middleton over the line now offside as Wayne Gretzky was in a little too quickly. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, the player of the games tonight, Klima's played very well for Czechoslovakia. Middleton's played well. Sutter got the team off to a good start. He's been checking very effectively. Wait and see who they pick.
An interesting statistic supplied us here about Réjean Lemelin, who's been just a great home ice goaltender. No wonder they love him in this building. Lost only 9 games and 51 appearances here in the Saddle Dome. And he's carried that right on here as he has given up just a 1 goal on a power play. Out at center ice now for Canada. There's the lead pass. Bossy, the shot is in the goal mouth, and Sindel doesn't see it. It's scored, but it'll be no goal. Whistle had gone. The referee, Carandine, had lost sight of the puck. And the moment he does, of course, it's mandatory that he blow the whistle. The puck was underneath Schindel. Schindel got up, which is a no-no. When you don't know where the puck is, just lie there and hope it's underneath you.
That's right. He didn't know where it was. He was looking around behind him. Here's a nice pass, a nice feed. Bossy, his shot missed.
Now Sindel, watch him get up here. If we'll see it far enough. There he is. He gets up and is lying there. Sutter puts his stick on it and puts it in, but the whistle had gone at that point. No goal.
The referee was off to the left of the screen there, and he could not see the puck, so he had to blow the whistle.
Another look at it. Good shot. Boy, I tell you, don't really like to see Bossy getting in. You love to see him if you're a fan of Mike Bossy's and the team he's playing for, but boy, as a goaltender, that's the last thing you want is to see him coming in on you alone.
It was a great pass made by John Tonelli. He's also played a strong game.
This line has been good. Bossy now with the puck again. Good move now cutting through the slot, and he's checked finally by Herdina, number 24. The puck is cleared to center ice, and there's Robinson. Playing that steady game of his again. Back in behind the net for Schindel. Along the boards, Klima. Wait for Klima. Oh, look at that move. Past Tonelli. Klima swinging back. Checked away from him. Sutter's got it. That's cleared to center ice, and Robinson's got it. Robinson waiting for Tonelli to get onside. Drops it off for Bossy. Bossy intended for Sutter. That hopped over his stick. Picking it up as Borsheva, but he can't get it out of the zone. It's rolled in front of the net. Bossy after it on the boards on this side, but it's cleared out to the line. Robinson moving in on the play. Now over to Sutter. Sutter in, trying to get it to Tonelli. It was intercepted there by Borsheva. And back out to center ice where Klima's got it. Klima to the line. Klima dropping it back. Canada changing on the go now. Gardner comes off the bench. Behind the net for Musil. He's pinched in from the point. Also in there is Rosol. He's got the puck. Rosol back to the blue line. Klima head in deep. Huddy's there. Huddy along the boards. Tonelli chops it down the ice. There'll be icing here. Ubira goes back for it. And as he does so, icing is called. And we'll have a face-off back in the Team Canada zone. Well, this series has just begun. The Canada Cup Series. Right after this game, Team Canada moves on to Edmonton. And on Monday night, it'll be Canada against the Soviet Union. And then after that game, it'll be into the playoff round of this series. Sudden death followed by a best of 3. Here's Gardner. Bork, at least Bourne in there. Staviana behind his own net now. Staviana out to center ice. Drops it off for Lukács. Lukács couldn't get to it. Leba back there for it. Ahead, turning with it. Lukács getting it over the line, gets that drop pass, kicked it over to the wing, but Bourne was there doing a good job on the back checking. Bourne winds up in the corner as Lukács goes in there as well, and it's called for a face-off deep in Team Canada territory. The score, 6-1 Canada. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, there's the cheerleader that's getting their fans going here, but Ludi Bukac, the Czechoslovakia coach, has to be a little disappointed with his hockey club. He's brought 7 young guys over from Czechoslovakia as maybe a test tournament for the World Championships, which are going to be played in Prague. He's got to be a little disappointed with his hockey club.
Well, disappointed perhaps in some of the older players who have not helped him out too much, the returnees. But I'll tell you, some of those kids are pretty good. Here's one of them, and he took a shot. It's wide of the net. Jussi Lala out along the boards now and out to center ice. Stastny moving after that puck along with Musil. Musil cutting in front of his own net now, clears it off the boards, and Lala's got it at center ice now. Anderson to the line, and he went in over the line and then reached back and hooked it. The puck in after he had passed the line, so it's offside, and it'll face off outside the blue line again. Well, Czechoslovakia loses this game. Their record in the Canada Cup will be 0-3-1, and who would have predicted that? Just the 1 point, and that was against Germany, a 4-4 tie. So it has not been too good for them. The Soviet Union later on tonight is going to be playing the USA, and the way the USA has played in this tournament, that could be a dandy.
Well, if Tom Barrasso stays hot like he has been, they can win that hockey game.
Anderson rink wide off the elbow there And in front now, Stastny alone. He gets it. She scores! Peter Stastny! And boy, this is the moment in Peter's life.
Isn't that great to see? Peter's been criticized a little bit somewhat throughout the camp of maybe being a little bit of a slow starter. He made a beautiful play on his former country here. And here's a nice pass by Anderson. He gets control of the puck. Peter breaks for the opening. Has a look. Makes a beautiful deke. Schindels right out of the net.
Well, that's the Peter Stastny we've seen in the National Hockey League. And here you see it again. Look at the move. This is a tremendous move.
Super goal. I'm sure that's going to get Peter a big lift for the rest of the tournament.
So Stastny from Anderson and Messier. And there's Peter Stastny, who, I'll tell you, I've never seen a player, and I've seen some players in some very tense situations, as tense as Peter Stastny was coming over from the hotel this afternoon. He was, I don't think he moved.
They're all very concerned going into tonight's game, but they come up big and look forward to the rest of the series.
Now Stastny's got the puck at center ice now. He needed that goal. He really did to get him going. The stick handled at the line forced Anderson to go in offside. The goal then, Stastny from Anderson and Messier at 4:45. And Canada now leads 7-1.
We talk sometimes about changing lines and juggling them, and here tonight, Stastny was put with Anderson and Messier. They've been very effective all night long, and you need a big line pulling it through like that. It's going to give them all a big lift, I'm sure.
Well, there you see he played with Slobodan Bratislava, with his brothers, of course. There's a big check at center ice made by Bork. Middleton, his Boston teammate at the line, is offside the delayed whistle. Musil in forechecking. Canada will be allowed to come out of its own zone now. Bork ahead to the line now. Goulet clearing it to the side of the net. Swinging back to the side of the net once again is Stabiana. Gets it behind the net. And they have Hrdina back to the blue line. Kept in. Goulet tried to tap it back to Bork. Bork wasn't ready for that. Klima in forechecking. Goulet. Middleton out of midair there, knocked down by Gretzky. Gretzky going in alone now, stops up. He's waiting for Goulet to get in there. And it is a penalty going to be called on Rosol, I believe. So Czechoslovakia, if they needed that, now are going to play shorthanded. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. So Rosol's off for interference at 5:49. Canada leading 7-1. And now they'll have the power play out there again. And that means Gretzky, Middleton, Goulet, Coffey, and Charlie Huddy. Coffey back in his own zone. Lead pass for Middleton. Middleton with Gretzky breaking, and Middleton overskated it, but Huddy gets it into the Czechoslovak zone. Schindel out of the net now. Middleton in the corner. Moving up is Gretzky. Gretzky gets it in for Goulet. Goulet out in front now. There's nobody there, and Coffey was right out in front of the net, so the point position was left open. Now Huddy behind his own net, stops up there. Leba in forechecking. Huddy eases it ahead for Coffey. Coffey at center ice now, backhands it in. Schindel is back to get it as Kadletz. Clears it right out of the stick of Goulet to Coffey, or at least to Gretzky. Gretzky was waiting for it, never got to him. Huddy, far side, Coffey going back for it to get behind him again, and Leba out in front, but shot, they score. Coffey got trapped, and Canada gives up a shorthanded goal as Savozil was parked right in front of the net all alone.
Charlie Huddy threw the puck over to Coffey. I don't think Coffey was expecting it. Leba jumps in front of him and makes a perfect pass. Pass out to Savozil, right out in front. Perfect shot, high in the corner.
Well, Huddy got whacked, got out of position just with that little check by Savozil, and then Savozil got the pass. Well, that one comes at the 6:48 mark. A shorthanded goal. Canada's still on the power play. Savozil. Leba is the one that set it up. So 7-2 now. Canada's still comfortably in front, of course, and Robinson getting the return pass now from Bork. And Bork now takes it out of the zone. Bork falls as there's going to be another penalty. Over the line comes Sutter. It's played there by Stabiana, and there's going to be a tripping penalty, and Czechoslovakia is going to be playing two men short here as Korbala heads for the Penalty box. It was a tripping call. Some tough penalties here.
There's Bork. It's a great lateral movement.
So now Czechoslovakia in a tough spot. They're well behind in this game. 7:02 for tripping. Bork's got those good moves at center ice, and as you mentioned, the lateral movement as he cut across, completely surprised Korvela to haul him down. Although that's not the type of penalty you really want to see.
Against Canada. Canada has a 5-on-3 advantage here.
Now let's see what happens as Tonelli brings it into the corner. Tonelli around behind the net now. Tonelli still with that puck out to the blue line for Robinson. Robinson was going to get it over the point, and Bork had crisscrossed on him. So now Robinson gives it to Bork. Bork back to Robinson. Robinson getting it to Tonelli. There's the quick shot, but it's wide of the net. Hit the side of the net. Vossi trying to dig it out in front for Sutter. Pinned in against the boards. Dug out by Sutter. Tonelli trying to flip it out into the slot area for Robinson. And it's cleared down the ice as it was picked up by Hrdina. And Lemelin, who's not had a lot of work here in this game. To the line. Messier, quick shot, glove save off the glove of Schindel, winds up over top of the glass. Face-off will be deep in the Czechoslovak end.
And Messier, he can shoot that puck as he's striding. His feet are moving, and he gets strong hands, strong wrists. It's a good shot away there. Here he is cutting around the defenseman, keeps his feet going, and fires the puck. Nice save by Schindel.
Oh, Stastny's out there now with Anderson and Messier, Huddy, and Coffey. Coffey now the team and Canada Cup leading scorer, defenseman Anderson. Anderson getting it to Huddy, just taps it over for Messier, back to Huddy. Huddy, Coffey into Messier now. Messier, Anderson couldn't get that pass. It was intercepted, and there's a very nice move made by Liba, and he brings it out to center ice again. Liba's over the line, head off the boards for Messier. One penalty has expired, 46 seconds remaining, and the other is Huddy. Starting out. Coffey. Good lead pass. Stastny's all alone again. Stastny gets set, shoots, and it's the save made by Schindel. Stastny went to his backhand. Huddy, Coffey off over his stick. Coffey clearing it back, and it's put it right on the stick of a Czechoslovak player, and it's cleared down the ice by Kodlets. Back to get it is Huddy. Team Canada makes a change now as Huddy gets it ahead for Yzerman at center ice. Yzerman over the line. Yzerman ahead. Gardner got that pass. He tried to one-time it and shot it wide of the net. It's cleared up into the Czechoslovak bench, and another face-off deep in Czechoslovakian territory.
Young Steve Yzerman has really impressed me throughout the series. He's an excellent centerman. He makes good passes. He really utilizes his wingers there. He throws a pass right across over the Czechoslovakian defenseman's stick, right onto Gartner's stick, who was breaking for the net. Almost a goal there.
Now Yzerman, who played his junior hockey in Peterborough, from Cranbrook, as was mentioned there. And it's a rookie year, 39 goals. Second in the Rookie of the Year voting. So a fellow had a tremendous year, of course, Tom Barrasso of Buffalo. Gartner ahead. Musil knocks it down. He's backing over the line, freelancing a bit inside the zone, but he was checked by Bork from behind. Now Canada again underway in its zone. Gartner checks up against the boards by Klima. Klima gets it back, but it's Bork who has to play it now. Bork ahead for Gartner. Gartner at center ice, and he hits the line. Gartner beat it behind the winger as Bourne had moved in a little bit too deeply for it. Now Bourne at the blue line. Now he's backing over the line again. Gets it to Gartner. Gartner tipping it ahead in deep. He was under checking pressure there from Musil, number 6. And Musil goes down with the puck in the corner, and it's held for a face-off in the Czechoslovak zone once again. There are 3 Slovaks on this team, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that, but Eddie Westfall's down below. Eddie?
Yes, I'm with Dr. Derek Mackesy, who looks after a lot of these players at Team Canada when they get injured. Derek, maybe you could bring us up to date on Doug Wilson's injury.
Well, Doug's got to qualify as the hard luck kid of this team. He's been injured in every game. He was chasing the puck in the offensive zone. The Czech player Musil got a stick between Doug's legs, so he had no control going into the boards and was taken in by Musil. He has hyperextended his left knee and bruised his right knee, which is basically a good news situation. It could have been much worse, as you saw.
Thank you very much.
Play back underway. Now Robinson, well, with Canada ahead, just let him rest it a little bit in a couple of days before we play the Soviets. Now out in front again, trying to get it out there is Tonelli. It rolls out in front. Sutter on his backhand decides to take it to the point for Coffey. Coffey shoots it into the crowd. Sutter gets it again, but he's checked on the play by Lala. Lala starting out now for Czechoslovakia. Lala at center ice with Solder and Ruzicka. Solder gets the pass. Solder back in front. That was intercepted by Lemela. Fed into the corner once again. Here's Ruzicka behind Bossy. Also there is Lala. Lala inside the blue line now. Horshova moves in from the point. Comes loose. Solder's got it. Solder tried to get it in front. He did, but Ruzicka couldn't control it. Out in front again. It's just poked away and down the ice. There'll be no icing as Horshova goes back for it. Played by Schindel. Horshova cutting in front of his own net. Gretzky's on the ice now for checking. Gretzky ahead to the line. Moving for the net is Dudacek. They move it in there. But Canada clears it away again to center ice. Near Gretzky racing after that puck. Musil is after him as well. Coming back on the play was Lala, and he's the one that broke up the play. Back at the line. Bork at center ice ahead for Middleton. Middleton trying to work it in. Failed to work, and Bork has got it in his zone. Bork gets the return pass from Kevin Lowe. Around the boards it goes. Third in front, goes by everybody. Now for Canada, it's Goulet out to center ice for Gretzky to Middleton. Middleton to the line. Middleton is not able to control it there against Musil, and is back out at center ice now. And for Czechoslovakia, it's Paschek. Paschek over the line, trying to feather that pass for Dudacek. Dudacek in against the boards, checked by Robinson, and it winds up back in Czechoslovak territory. Musil turning in his own zone now. Musil to the line. Checked by Huddy. On the net it goes on this side for Liba. Liba. Anderson. Robinson behind the net, unable to control it. There's Liba out in front. Quick shot. Big save. Saved by Lemelin. Point blank range. Back inside the Czechoslovak line. It's Stabiana getting it ahead now. Down over the line comes to Bozil. His shot is just wide. And Robinson picks up the rebound. Back near the line. Stabiana keeping it in. Liba turning into the corner. Huddy. Check behind the net. Robinson in there, but he is unable to get to it. Bozil back out into the slot now. Stabiana's shot up on Robinson's chest, and Robinson gulps it around the boards and out to center ice past Messier. Now it's Horshova. Over the line, Huddy collects the puck. Huddy at center ice. Long time between whistles here as the puck is brought down to the line. Third in front. Here's a quick shot wide of the net. Anderson against the boards on this side, but Bozil beats him to it. Back out at center ice for Messier. 7:05 remaining in the hockey game. Bork. Now Messier ahead at center ice. That was Kevin Lowe ahead now to Gardner, but Gardner couldn't reach that pass. Now gets it again. Hits the line offside. He preceded the puck in over the line and is called for a face-off. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Made a big save on it.
Reggie's a big guy, and he covers a lot of net. And that's the type of goaltending the team wants. We need that going into the game against Russia and into the semifinal round. A big boost for Team Canada with the play of Reggie Lemelin tonight.
Oh, goodness, we got a wave going.
Enthusiastic fans here in Calgary.
Wait till these Europeans see this one. If Team Canada doesn't scare them, this will. Round and round it goes. Puck inside the zone now. Canada. Behind the net, Gardner. Gardner, Yzerman. Yzerman at the side of the net. And is hoisted free by Hrdina out to center ice once again. Around the boards. Behind the net, Codlet's in the far corner. Digging it loose as Yzerman moving to the net, but he was unable to control it. And once again, Czechoslovakia with Hrdina. At center ice, Hrdina getting it ahead for Rosol. He clears it in over the line, but it rolls free, and Canada clears it out to center ice. Gardner racing after it, but Schindel way out of his net, clears it off the glass, and out near the line. Carandine, as it hit him, it's called for a face-off inside the blue line. Musil's shaking his head. He doesn't know what's going on. He's never seen anything like that in his life. What's this?
Now, this is great to see. That's what, as a player, you like to see the fans get involved in the game, not sit on their hands.
Eddie Westfall's down in the middle of it. Eddie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Ron. It's quite an experience to be standing in the middle of it. I've never been that close to a human wave before.
Well, save it for the Soviets on Monday night. There's Lala inside the zone now. Lala along the boards. Bossy with Tonelli breaking, and he fed it across, but Salter was right there. And now it's Coffey back inside the zone. Coffey one-handing that puck behind the net for Huddy. We've got 5:30 remaining in the hockey game as it's cleared down into Czechoslovak territory. Staviano's there. Bossy cleared out to center ice between everybody. Down to Lemelin. He leaves it for Lowe. Up against the boards. Back there is Bork as well, but the puck is hooked free there by Corbella. Going up against the boards. Bork is in there against them. Cleared away. And out comes Bossy. Trying to duck away from some checking from Musil. Now Bossy. Hoisted away from him by Musil. And it's Bork. Behind his net. Bork just dropping it off now. Low to Middleton. Middleton out at center ice. Musil. Middleton overskating it. Reaches back for it. Clears it ahead. Good pass now over the line for Bork. Bork in front of the net. Goulet had a chance and just couldn't knock it out of midair. Gretzky reaching for it at center ice, but it's checked away from him by Kotlets. Goulet, Gretzky, Middleton moving up. Middleton will reach for that puck, drops it off. Now over the line it comes, and Goulet into the corner after it. Kotlets is in there, and they hold it in against the boards. First call for a face-off. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Well, Eddie Westphal was mentioning earlier in the game about the way the scoring has been spread out in this game. Canada leading by a score of 7-2, 7 different goal scorers. Sutter, Bossy, Coffey, Middleton, Goulet, Messier, and Stastny. Robinson moving in. Here's his shot through a crowd. That's kicked up against the glass by Schindel. Anderson around the board. Stastny can't reach that. Lukács in against the boards. And Lukács starting out. Lukács ahead. At center ice there for Ubira. Back. A rink-wide pass. Out comes Canada now at center ice. That lead pass. It's in for Stastny, who was breaking up the right wing boards. Just couldn't get it to him. Messier was trying to force it through. Robinson back in his own zone now. Off the boards at center ice. Leba takes a big hit, and he's going to be nailed there. Huddy is for, I think, a high sticking or an elbow. Puck is at the side of the net now. Delayed whistle. Puck in the corner. The whistle finally goes, and Czechoslovakia will get a manpower advantage as Leba was, I think, elbowed in there by Charlie Huddy. At this point, Darryl, chance to talk a little bit about the Labatt Player of the Game Awards, and we'll first of all take a look at this one, but certainly Huddy got it up on him.
Got his elbow up a little high in the Czechoslovakian space there. Leba ducked a little bit.
They call it for roughing. So Huddy's in there. The time of the penalty, 16:22. What about it? What do you like?
For Canada, I don't know. Rick Middleton's played well tonight. Tonelli's played well. Sutter. I'll go with Rick Middleton, a goal and an assist, and for Czechoslovakia, Klima, I think he's been their best player all around.
All right, on a bit of a losing streak there, Darryl. See if we can rectify that tonight. Musil inside his own zone. I have to agree with you. I think that Sutter early in the game was very, very good, but Middleton has played a full 60 minutes here. And there's Klima going in. Speaking of the top Czechoslovakian player now, here's Gretzky breaking out. Canada killing off a penalty. Gretzky hits the line now, drops it off. Here's Bourne into Gretzky. It hit a leg. Musil turns with it now in his own zone. 3 minutes exactly remaining in the hockey game. Musil ahead at center ice. Hrdina over the line with Klima. Hrdina cutting across. Still with that puck. Klima trying to pick it up against the boards. Hrdina then just hooked it into the corner. That is cleared down the ice by Bork. Schindel out of his net. 7-2. Canada leading. Dying minutes of this hockey game. Victory here, clinching a playoff berth for Canada, and that was very much in doubt going into this game. Svozil at center ice. Leba, number 11 for Czechoslovakia, over the line, is stopped there by Coffey, and Coffey's back out at center ice now. Coffey with Tonelli. Tonelli trying to fight his way through, but here is a chance for Tonelli. Tonelli shoots it high. It's in the goal mouth, and it is cleared away as Leba got in there. Out at center ice. Down over the line comes Ubera. His shot is blocked at the defense. Tonelli, Robinson. Robinson out of his zone. Robinson trying to make a move around the defense. Staviano stopped that one. Robinson coming back, picks it up at center ice, and stick handles back into his own zone. Robinson. Minute 49 left. Messier hits the line. He's stopped there by Korbola. Back comes Czechoslovakia with Dusan Pashek. Pashek behind Korbola with the pass, and Robinson's got it. Out at center ice now, leading the rush for Canada is Anderson. He keeps on going, and finally Musial steps in, makes the check, and Schindel steps out of the net and gets it out to Korbola at center ice. Canada again. Anderson over the line. Anderson trying to force it rink wide. That was blocked. Korbola at the side of his net. Ahead. Pashek at center ice. Korbola gets the return pass over the line. Clears it over for Dudacek. He's stopped. Out comes Canada once again with Yzerman, but is stopped at the blue line by Horshova. Now Yzerman will try again. Horshova gets it again at center ice. Horshova. Back again. Salder had that pass blocked by Yzerman. Yzerman's back in over the line now. Yzerman stick handling nicely inside that line. Here's his shot. It's right on. And coming back is Salder. Salder for Czechoslovakia. To the line with number 17, Ruzicka. Ruzicka moving in after it. Behind the net now for Coffey. Coffey clears it off a stick and out to center ice as Horshova knocks it down, and Musial back in his own zone. 27 seconds left in this hockey game. The fans starting to cheer the effort of Team Canada here as Ruzicka hits the line once again. The penalty has expired. In front of the net now. Down goes Lemmerman. He holds it for a face-off. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. There's Peter Rosol, and take a look at that face guard he wears. He's worn that since he was a junior, and for no reason other than I guess he wants to protect his jaw.
You'd think it would affect him looking down the puck, but I guess it doesn't.
There's Gretzky now with Middleton. Gretzky shot! Look at the save! Goodness, Schindel. That's why they respect him highly in Czechoslovakia. And we have just 4 seconds left now as Gretzky let one go.
Wayne, he played a fine game tonight also. Good hard shot. Glenn Shaler's got to be happy with his hockey club tonight. He's changed the lines around. He's got scoring from all lines tonight. And going into the final game of the series before the playoff round against the Soviet Union, he's got to be pleased with that balance, and I'm sure he's going to lead these lines together.
Gretzky, as the fans are standing here at the Olympic Saddle Dome in Calgary with 4 seconds left, they chop it to the side of the net. That'll do it. And the hockey game is over, and Canada has won a very, very important game. Had they not won here, they faced elimination in their own tournament. They come up very, very big against Czechoslovakia, winning it 7-2. They outshot Czechoslovakia 7-5 in the third period. Total shots on goal 30-20. And 7 goals, 7 different players. They've got reason to be happy down there.
Well, they played very well, and they deserve the win tonight. They're all looking forward to probably the next game up in Edmonton. Fans from Edmonton will be behind Team Canada. It's the kind of crowd you love to play in front of. You get the emotions going right off the bat. Lots of noise out there. Good support for Reggie Lemelin, and it seems to bring out the best of the players when you get that support.
Well, the United States later tonight is going to be taking on the Soviet Union at Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. And Canada, of course, right after this game is moving on to Edmonton for the final game in the preliminary round of this Canada Cup tournament. It's been a good effort by Canada. The 2-point people, Tonelli with 2 assists in the game, Coffey with a goal and an assist, Middleton with a goal and an assist, and also Goulet with a goal and an assist. Let's go down to ice level now in the post-game ceremonies.
The Player of the Game award is Mr. Bob Cable, sales manager for the Prairie region, the Labatt Brewing Company Limited. Mr. Cable. The Labatt's Player of the Game for Team Canada will receive an Eskimo carving provided through the courtesy of Esso. Number 27, John Tonelli.
Well, John Tonelli in the game with 2 assists. His line had a heck of a game, you have to say that.
They got Canada off to the start that Canada needed. Tonelli made a couple good plays off the boards. He shot the puck that Bossy tipped in. He's a worker. That's what he's known as. Work, work, work. He deserves it.
Will receive a Canon T70 camera. Number 12, Peter Klima.
Well, there's a young player that, as we mentioned during the broadcast, is going to see a lot of action over the years for Czechoslovakia. He's going to become, I think, one of their next great players. And so Peter Klima, the player of the game for Team Czechoslovakia, John Tonelli for Team Canada.